And before we get to the phone calls and kind of talking more about this game, I do want to provide a tad bit of optimism if I can. Now, the way the season ended, without question, is disappointing. No way around it. And I still think this season is looked at. When you finish 9-3 and you got a guy who could win the Heisman, most likely is going to win the Heisman Trophy, I still think it's unfair to call the season a disappointment. However, it did have a disappointing finish. Now, with all that said, I think when you look at this team, 12 games in, as you know, 12 games in is the end of the regular season. The worst part for me is that I don't really have a clue how good they are. Now, I think when you look at the personnel and the talent, there's a lot to really like, but the elephant in the room is they only beat one team with a winning record, but that doesn't mean they're not good. That you play who's on your schedule. But here's something to kind of look forward to. Louisville's going to have a month off between the bowl game and this past Saturday. And very rarely, unless you're in the college football playoff or unless you're in one of the big-time bowl games, very rarely do you have something to prove going into a bowl game. Bowl games are kind of meaningless, right, unless it's one that really matters. I don't know how much the Citrus Bowl is going to matter if that's where Louisville ends up, but they got something to prove, right? They got something to play for. So that's my optimistic way to look at it, is that you could end the season on a brighter note. Let's say Louisville finds themselves taking on a Florida or an LSU in the Citrus Bowl. A win over them and doing it in an impressive fashion could certainly put a better ending to the season than what occurred against Kentucky on Saturday and against Houston in the previous week.